Hey everyone, Josh here with a look at another Star Wars toy, and today we're going to unbox a figure from the TV show Rebels. This is Princess Leia Organa. So let's go set this girl free. Alright everyone, here we are with a Princess Leia Organa figure from the TV show Rebels. And so you'll notice that this figure is in Rogue One packaging, and that doesn't have anything to do with this figure or this character being in Rogue One. And of course Leia was in Rogue One at the very end, but this figure was released at the time the Rogue One packaging was being used, so all figures get Rogue One packaging. That's just how that works. But we're gonna unbox her today, and real quick I just want to turn the packaging around, let you guys see the whole thing, take a look at the back. And what you have here is a very brief description of Princess Leia, and you can actually see here they're referencing the TV show Rebels on the back of the packaging. It's not on the front. And if you're not familiar with the TV show Rebels, it's set a few years before the events of A New Hope. And in one of the episodes, Princess Leia does make an appearance, and in the description here, they're kind of describing that episode, so I'll go ahead and read that to you guys. As Princess of the Royal House of Alderaan, Leia was tasked with the delivery of relief supplies to the needy citizens of Lothal, a useful cover for her true mission of covertly aiding the efforts of the growing rebellion. So if you didn't see the episode she was in, and they're kind of briefly describing that to you, she was kind of starting to help the rebellion as a senator, or I can't remember if she was actually, if they ever actually say she's a senator in the TV show, but she works for the Republic, I guess, and I think she was a senator. I'll be honest, I don't remember. It's been a while since I've seen the episode, but she's running a relief mission, and she's just using it as a trick, as a cover. They explain to you, but she used it as a cover to help the rebellion, and she delivers them some ships. I believe it's some of those hammerhead cruisers that you see being used in Rogue One. It was one of those cruisers that smashed into the Star Destroyer and pushed it into the other Star Destroyer, and apparently in the, oh my goodness, Rogue One packaging, they really like using glue. So, okay. I've just found that these things have a lot of glue on them. So, okay. So you can see she comes with a lot of accessories here, and it's obviously not stuff that she used in the show or the movie. It's extra things they're obviously using to entice you to buy the figure. You can see we have some kind of grapple device, and we will work with that a little bit later. And I just want to take a look at, wow, this is a very, very tiny, petite, and delicate figure. But let's take a look at her here. And here you see, and this is the outfit. If you've seen the episode, this is what she's wearing in the episode. And there's not a lot of movement and a lot of articulation. And the head sculpt is more, it looks more towards what she looked like on the animation. They're not trying to copy as much as what Carrie Fisher looked like, is really copy what the animation style of the show was. And so let's run through her movements real quick. I don't think we're going to have a lot to go through here, but she have up and down on her head, and of course full round and round. And it actually feels like the head is on a bit of a ball joint there, so you have a lot of movement. Oops, I'm sorry, a lot of movement on it. Then of course is just a standard 3 3/4 inch figure. The only thing you're going to have is arm rotation. There's no wrist movements or anything like that. And I mean, you can see how little her hands are and how little her arms are. And then going down from there, no waist movement, and then the only other thing you have is hip movement. You have forward and backward, and that's it. Okay, and so she comes with a little tiny blaster, and it looks like mine may have a bit of a mold error on it. So if you look at the blaster she came with in this particular packaging, you can see mine has a small little molding error on it, and you may get that from time to time when you're collecting. And one thing you can kind of try to do to avoid stuff like that, and I didn't do it here, is if you're ever in the store and you come across a figure you want to buy and there is more than one in the store, what you want to do is kind of hold both figures or a couple of figures up to each other and look for small defects, like in the face sculpt or the hand sculpts. That's very important. And the accessories, the way the accessories are sculpted, and you can see there's just a small little mold defect, and here on the back of the blaster you lost a little bit of the detail. And you know, really I'm not all that concerned about it, because to be completely honest with you, I have more than one of these figures. So but that's just one of the things you can, one of the tricks you can kind of try to do to avoid that. If you're ever there and there's multiple figures, just hold them up to next to each other in the store and look for any small defects. And I usually start with looking at the face first, then the hands, and then usually the body, and then at the accessories to see if there's any little defects. And honestly, it looks like you could just get a little clipper or a knife or something and just cut this little piece of extra molding off, but I may take care of that later. So, but let's just keep looking at how Leia interacts with the blaster, and you can see she holds it just fine. And you know, it's not the tightest grip, but it's in her hand. And one of the things they do with the female characters sometimes is they you know, they make them a little smaller, a little petite, and so sometimes the hand sculpts don't hold the accessories, you know, the best. So just be aware of that. Sometimes the female characters do that. I've run into that with the Rey character and some of the other Leia figures, where just the hands aren't the best for holding the accessories. So, but you can see she holds it fine. It looks good in her hand. It's just not the tightest grip. So if you go pulling on a little too hard, it does pop out, and it looks like, whoops, she can hold it in both hands. It just looks a bit off on this one. You can see, well, there you go. That looks a little better. But you can see she'll hold it in both hands, so that's very cool. Okay, so as we saw when she was in the packaging, she came with an extra little bonus accessory, and they actually came with little instructions to show you how it works. And so it's a zip line. So what you want to do is connect it between 2 points, and Leia will zip down the line. And so here it is. And so it is an actual little string. I'd say it's probably, if I can get the whole thing on here, it's probably a little over a foot long, maybe 18 inches, somewhere around there. And so you have two little grappling hooks that are pretty much identical on both sides. And what they're showing you in the little thing is they want you to wrap it around whatever you're zipping by, something similar to that. And let's see how she interacts with this thing a little bit. So if you look at the actual item itself, there's no, you know, they have what's molded, what appears to be little wheels that are running along the line, and that's not what they're not actually moving parts. They just designed to look that way. So there's basically just a hole through this part of the zip line handle, and the string just pulls through it. It's no big deal. There's no moving parts on this thing that I can see. And then what you have here is you slide her hand through this little gauntlet type piece, and there's a handle right here that she's going to hold on to. And let's see if we can get her to do this here. And again, her hands just appear a little bit too small to want to do this. So I feel like I'm kind of forcing them on here. Let's try it with the other hands. Not really. There we go. Okay, there she has it. But there you can see how she holds it, and you can see how her arm slides into it, and there's a little handle right there, and she's just going to hold on to the handle. And let's see if we can get the Princess of Alderaan to zip on the zip line. Here we go. Boom. And she really only wants to go one direction. Okay. So it works fine. But one of the things I'm seeing here is, because of the way they have this thing angled, you can see the way the line runs through this thing. It's at an angle, so she goes down just fine. But if you try to go the other way, she doesn't really want to do that. So you kind of have to let slack in the line. Zip line. All right. Very cool. All right. Whoops. See, just if you look at these two accessories, you'll see the handle for the zip line piece is larger and wider than the handle for the blaster. So just putting her hand on this zip line piece, I kind of stretched it out a little bit, and she's not really wanting to hold the blaster as much anymore. So you got to be careful with these hands if you're going to use these little bonus accessories, because you can stretch her out. And so let's see if we can fix that a little bit. I'm just going to squeeze her hand back together. Okay, that seems to help. Alright guys, and there she is, the Princess of Alderaan from the TV show Rebels. Let's see if we can get this figure to stand. And yeah, she's a little tiny legs, or little tiny legs don't want to stand, unfortunately. All right, you gotta lean her. I had to lean her back a little bit, but there you go. You can get her to stand. All right, everyone, there she is from the TV show Rebels and your 3 3/4 inch line. This is Princess Leia. And thanks for watching, everyone. I really appreciate it. I hope you're enjoying the videos. And if you are, please subscribe to the channel. We would love to have your support. And again, thanks for watching, everyone. And we'll talk to you later. Bye.